Ngayon ang ikalawang araw ng state visit ni Pangulong Marcos sa Indonesia. Itutuloy na ng Cebu City ang pagluluwag ng pagsuot ng face mask. Yung isa pang consideration, Mayor, shouldn't we be more on the preemptive side? Tinanghal bilang kampiyon ng PBA Philippine Cup ang San Miguel Beermen. Po si Pia Ontiveros. Ito ang News 9.
More transport groups are renewing calls to suspend the fuel excise tax. You can see whether you're northbound to Shaw Boulevard in Mandaluyong on the right lane or southbound to Hilpiat Avenue on the left lane. This would help ease the burden of costly fuel on the transport sector. I'm Sam Suduani. This is the Traffic Center on CNN Philippines.
Let's take a minute to talk about a slightly touchy subject, and that is the subject of the bike lane. As an experienced cyclist, I can tell you that we technically don't have an exclusive bike lane. What we have are painted lines that have been added onto existing roads, which technically makes them more of a shared lane. Now, it's true you do have lanes that are divided by solid dividers or bollards. You'll find them more on the recreational areas. Now, you don't generally find these types of bike lanes along traditional commuting routes.
Late in 2022, the Transportation Department said that it had completed over 500 kilometers of bike lane networks across the country. It also continues to promote the use of bicycles to increase the number of people taking active transportation. Aside from adding bike lanes, the department also plans to implement bike counters along roads to regularly collect data on the number of cyclists. In Intramuros, authorities are constructing a 9.6-kilometer lane that aims to improve mobility and access in the walled city. Nearly 2 million visitors will be served by the project, which is targeted to be completed by the last quarter of the year.
My advice to beginning commuters and to cyclists in general is to use the bike lane. They've been placed there for our benefit. However, don't feel trapped by a painted line on the road. Bear in mind, unfortunately, the bike lane is also where you find a lot of debris, which could often give you a puncture. On poorly managed roads, you'll find a lot of potholes and obstacles. On busier roads, public utility vehicles and quite a number of private vehicles actually like to stop along these so-called bike lanes. So don't feel trapped by these painted lines. Leave the bike lane when you need to avoid obstacles and rejoin the bike lane when it's safe to do so again. Conversely, don't expect this painted line to be an invisible force field that will protect you from other vehicles. You need to ride safe and you need to ride smart. Ride defensively. So a little bit of a reminder to all of us cyclists, let's keep a cool head when we're out on the road, and a little bit of a shout out to our motorist brothers. Let's give cyclists the space and respect that they deserve. What we have isn't perfect, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Bike commuting may be quite a challenge here in the country, especially in the metro, but and more bike-friendly infrastructure, this mode of transportation will definitely gain more traction. Bike commuting is a viable alternative alongside motorized transport. The more we choose to bike, the less pollution we produce, which means in our own little way, we're helping Mother Nature breathe a little bit easier. This is Paulo Brera reminding everyone that we may have a daunting task ahead of us, but we've got the solution if we all pitch in. And it all begins with one small act.
Tuesday, we bring you real-time road check. This is the traffic center on CNN Philippines. Hello there, Sam Sadwani here. Let's get this show on the road with live pictures of EDSA Guadalupe and Makati, a major choke point in Metro Manila. Now, if you're northbound to Shaw Boulevard in Mandaluyong City, take a look at the right lane. Traffic there is building up, so do pack some patience if you have plans around the area. And you can expect bumper-to-bumper vehicles if you're southbound to Hilpuyat Avenue. That's on the left lane, so once again, expect delays. The number coding scheme in NCR is in effect. Motorists with license plates ending in 3 and 4 should be off the road until 8 this evening. Over at the Skyway, this is a portion of Alabang Viaduct. Now, great news for motorists. Whether you're northbound to Pasay and Makati, that's on the right lane, or southbound to Muntinlupa on the left lane, traffic on both lanes is green and go. On to our top story, the Land Transportation Office, or LTO, will extend the validity of expiring driver's licenses for 1 year. Lawmakers during a hearing proposed to LTO Chief Vigor Mendoza to automatically extend expiring licenses for a year in light of a temporary restraining order from a Quezon City court on the plastic card purchase. While hoping that the stay order on the delivery of plastic cards would be lifted, Mendoza said earlier that the LTO would carry out an extension process for expired licenses.
So I'd like to confirm with the LTO that they will agree with the committee and some members to go ahead and allow 1 year renewal of those driver's licenses that cannot be renewed at this point because of the pending case. Did I confirm that with the LTO ASEC Mendoza?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we confirmed the 1 year extension.
Transport regulators say the subsidy must only be used for fuel purchases. Officials remind beneficiaries the subsidy is not for personal use. The money is remitted to transport operators through digital banks, bank accounts, or subsidy cards.
Dapat si driver, tansyado niya kung ilang biyahe niya ba pwedeng gamitin yung 6.5, di ba? Usually, di ba? So, dapat mag-uusap si driver at si operator. O, ngayon, kung in case na walang naramdaman yung driver o walang na-receive na pang fuel o pang karga nila dun sa kanilang biyahe, despite of the fact na may na-receive naman na subsidy, pwede mag-file ng complaint si driver.
The LTFRB says it is ready to distribute the subsidy as soon as it receives the funds. For traditional four-wheeled public vehicles, the subsidy is at 6,500 pesos, while operators of modernized SUVs will receive 10,000 pesos. Delivery riders will receive 1,200 pesos, while tricycle operators will get 1,000 pesos. The operator of Light Rail Transit, or LRT Line 1, issues an apology after a passenger called it out for the supposed mishandling of an incident. In a viral post, passenger Mina Fabre says a male passenger's finger was stuck between train doors. Efforts to get him unstuck failed until a passenger pressed the emergency button and the door opened. However, a guard approached the person who pressed the button and told him to get off the train. Fabre adds the guard didn't take any explanation, while the train driver says the emergency button was not supposed to be pressed. Light Rail Manila Corporation says the peak hours could have contributed to the misunderstanding, and the Gen 1 train set does not have automatic door sensors. It also said it will hold a customer service refresher for the staff. Heading now to our traffic news, adjusted fares at the Light Rail Transit 1 and 2 and oil price hikes were major factors in the higher inflation rate for August. The latest figure reversed a declining trend in the past months. Meanwhile, with road rage cases gone viral, a number of lawmakers filed a bill to hold erring drivers accountable, even without a complaint from their victim. The measure proposes 6 to 12 years imprisonment and a hefty fine in case of death. If the offender is a government official, the person will be permanently barred from public service. And transportation officials remind public utility drivers that student discounts should be given at all times, as long as the passenger presents an ID. Authorities say drivers who don't comply will pay a fine of 5,000 to 15,000 pesos. Complaints may be relayed to the LTFRB hotline 1342. It's time for another road check. Here's EDSA Taft Avenue in Pasay City. Now, if you're heading north to Magallanes in Makati, prepare for a long drive. As you can see, traffic there is almost at a standstill. On to Sucat Road in Parañaque City. No worries for you if you're heading to Alabang. Take a look at the right lane. Traffic there is green and go. But expect delays if you're heading to Las Piñas. That's on the left lane. As you can see, vehicles there are bumper to bumper. Heads up if you have plans in Taguig in the third week of the month. The 2023 bar exams will be held at the University of the Philippines BGC campus. So expect medium to heavy traffic in the area on the schedules flashed on your screens. People in an island in Rizal province are asking authorities to relax rules on ferry operations. Officials imposed new regulations days after a ferry tragedy in waters near the town of Binangonan that left almost 30 people dead. Senior correspondent David Santos reports.
Kala nga namin hindi kami matutuloy dahil alaki na ng alon.
The prayers offered in front of a newly constructed Coast Guard booth at the Binangonan port. The Coast Guard was initially called out for negligence that led to the tragedy. But some people on Talim Island say holding anyone accountable at this point is inconsequential.
Wala po sa isip na namin yung ganun kasi po hindi naman po sinasadya ng makahay.
Hindi naman kami nag-aangad ng ng justisya. Kasi siguro talagang hanggang doon na lang ang buhay noon.
Even the survivor, who was among last to be rescued,
pag tulog-tulog nananaginip ako, pag pipikit ang mata ko, nakikita yung mga kabaong.
Spoke to the media to insist there's no need for fault finding.
Yan ay disgrasya. Huwag nilang sabihin na kagagawa ng may-ari, baka hindi.
Authorities have filed criminal charges against the ferry owner, its skipper and crew, as well as Coast Guard personnel on duty when it happened.
Siyempre, iwas tayong disgrasya.
Some changes at the port following the mishap. There are separate ferries now for passengers and their cargo, such as sacks of rice, gas tanks, and even motorcycle. It is, however, impacting supply and prices of basic goods on the island.
Nakakaapekto po yun dahil magbabayad ng pamasahing bukod yung pong mga bagahe.
Vessel operation hours have been significantly reduced. Basically, no more nighttime sailing, affecting students and workers who commute to the island daily.
Kung kaya't kami pong mga taga-Islay hirap at nasisigil po kami sa pang-araw-araw na buhay.
Medyo kami siyempre nabibigla ho sa kanyang sitwasyon.
Island residents are appealing to relax the new rules. They're also calling for dialogue to find a compromise. The Coast Guard says it is also trying to find a win-win solution without sacrificing public safety. From Binangonan, Rizal, David Santos, CNN Philippines.
And here's one for the road, not your average visit to the supermarket. Eyewitnesses were shocked when some tumbling rocks turned into a full-on rumbling slide in Tennessee. CNN's Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
A sudden rock slide in Tennessee stunned nearby supermarket shoppers when it went from bad to worse to this. Christy McCormick from Arab, Alabama was reporting when the massive slide happened in the parking lot next to the supermarket in Gatlinburg. The store's manager told local station WBIR no one was injured and the area has since been cleaned up but remains blocked off for safety following the shocking and hard-rocking slide. Less shocking and more stupefying is this security video from a UK hotel showing a burglar taking a break mid-break-in at a closed bar to pour himself a beer. Yeah, just make yourself at home there, boss. The video also shows the man later confronted by a hotel employee and dropping a bag police say contained bottles of booze worth over $500. The man reportedly tried to flee but was arrested, and let's just say his burglary bar tab came due. Finally, let's end on a high note, shall we? Watch an Ohio elementary school class get a surprise visit from the school's mascot. This surprise was for an audience of one. Inside the costume was 7-year-old Eli Cronister's dad, who had been on military deployment overseas for a year.
That's Eli's dad!
Unfolding on Eli's first day at DeWitt Elementary, this tender surprise was a year in the making and definitely didn't disappoint. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Ross.
And that's it for today. I'm Sam Sidwani. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's take care of each other. Newsnight is next. Keep it here on CNN Philippines.
Our future modes of transport will alter just about every aspect of life.
I'm a firm believer that technology like you see behind me is going to be a democratizer.
Many experts believe that the transportation of tomorrow will improve our daily lives, our cities, and maybe even society as a whole. We're looking 10, 20, 40 years down the road, not just at how the journey will change, but how it will transform the destination.
Audie Cornish meets the parents daring to take on the tech giants in court.
They're showing kids not what they want to see, but what they can't look away from.
I did not realize that she had the accounts that she had.
Who's to blame for the dark side of social media?
Why do you think this falls on the companies?
Products are explicitly designed to evade parental responsibility.
I believe that she would still be here had they not pulled her in.
The whole story with Anderson Cooper.
In a span of 2 weeks, the government has detected another subvariant of Omicron. How challenging would it be for the new Marcos Jr. economic team? Authorities destroyed over 14 billion pesos worth of illegal drugs. I'm Rico Hizon, and this is the final word.
Sa susunod nating istorya, mabusog at matuto.
Importante ang food science sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay dahil una, hindi natin napapansin na nagpa-practice na pala tayo or nandito na tayo sa food science.
Ngayong Sabado na yan, sa Expert Talk.
The United States reiterates its solid relationship with the Philippines and it will be ready to provide support to improve the country's defense capabilities. Inirekomenda ng Migrant Workers Department pag-aralan muli ang labor agreement na nilagdaan ng Pilipinas at Kuwait noong 2018. We are now outside of the Great Hall of the People for the opening ceremony of the 20th National Congress. Saludado, CNN Philippines.
Jaja Santiago and Dindin Santiago Manabat carry the crossovers to a championship to our members of our national women's football team and the first ever rookie MVP of the UAAP Women's Volleyball Tournament. Welcome back to the show. Congratulations on winning the PBA Governor's Cup. JB, I'm Andre Felix, and this is Sports Center.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Ako si Pia Ontiveros. Ito ang Newsnight. Lahat ng kailangan ninyong malaman sa araw na ito. Ngayong epektibo na ang itinakdang price ceiling sa bigas, ilang retailer piniling hindi na lang magtinda dahil malulugi lang sa kita. Isang ID picture na may nakangiting unggoy imbes na tao lumusot sa SIM card registration. Mga senador dismayado. At mga maglalaro para sa Gilas Pilipinas sa Asian Games sa China, pinangalanan na. Alamin kung sino-sino sila mamaya. Epektibo na ngayong araw ang itinakdang nationwide price ceiling sa bigas sa gitna ng mga hinaing na mga nagtitinda. May naibebenta na nga bang 41 at 45 pesos kada kilogram na regular at well-milled rice sa mga pamilihan. Sumama si Carrie Cater sa inspeksyon ng mga opisyal sa ilang palengke dito sa Metro Manila.
Kumuha pa ng bagong stock si Jake sa kanyang supplier para lang makapagbenta ng tig 41 at 45 pesos kada kilogram na bigas sa Agora Public Market sa San Juan City. Pero lugi raw siya riyan ng 100 pesos sa kada sako. Kaya naman umaasa na lang din daw si Jake sa iba niyang paninda tulad ng itlog at mantika.
Kasi ma'am, ang puno niya ma'am, 43 puhunan. 41 po lang naka-display ma'am. Lugi ng 2 piso.
Itong 45?
Piso lang. Ang tutubuhin namin ma'am. Plastic pa.
Sa Mega Q-Mart sa Quezon City, puro tig 45 pesos na lang na well-milled rice ang itinitinda. Sold out na umano ang ibang klase ng bigas kahit mahal ang presyo. May itinayong stall din ang pamunuan ng palengke na pinilahan ng mga mamimili.
Mas maganda po kasi yung kahapon bumili kami 55 eh. Siyempre marami rin kami. Kailangan mababa lang na bibilihin namin ng mga bilihin. Kasi lalo na matataas na yung mga bilihin, di ba? Dapat pati bigas, huwag na nilang taasan.
Sabi ng tinderang si Betty, dating stock na raw yung kanila na 55 pesos talaga ang benta sa kada kilogram.
Nilagay na namin para 45 na yan. Yun naman ang sabi nila. Para nun makasunod tayo kahit nalugi kami.
Di gaya ng ibang rice retailers, hindi na talaga nagbukas ang ibang nagbebenta ng bigas tulad na lang ng nakikita nyo sa may likuran ko. Kesa naman daw magsayang sila ng oras at pagod sa bigas na hindi naman nila pagkakakitaan, mas pipiliin na lang daw nilang magpahinga. Ani Agriculture Senior Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban, makakatanggap ng one-time subsidy na 15,000 pesos ang rice retailers. May pondo raw ang Social Welfare Department na 5.5 billion pesos, habang may inilaan din na 2 billion pesos sa Kamara. Pinaplansya na raw ng DA at Trade Department ang listahan ng rice retailers para maipamahagi agad ang ayuda.
Within this week, that's the instruction of the President.
Ang national government po ay nakipag-ugnayan po sa amin at hinihingi nga po ang inventaryo. Number 1, ng mga retailers kung gaano karaming bigas pa meron sa kanila, magkano nila ito nabili.
May incentives din daw sa ibang local governments, kabilang ang diskwento o libreng upa sa mga sumusunod na stall. Hanggang 1 milyong piso ang multa sa rice retailers na lalabag sa price cap. Carrie Cator, CNN Philippines.
Iikot din ang mga kawani ng Justice Department sa mga pamilihan para tiyakin na nasusunod ang price ceiling sa bigas. Ayon kay Justice Secretary Boying Remulla, bumubuo na ng team para rito. Dagdag pa niya, inaaral din nila ang mga reklamo na pwedeng isampa laban sa mga lalabag sa price cap.
Ang pinakamabigat niya, syempre, economic sabotage, which is non-bailable. Mga profiteering and other crimes that are against commercial interests of sa taong bayan. Ang pagbubuo pa lang ng lahat ng mga team na yan, I think pagkilos din. At pinag-aaralan natin ang merkado ngayon, ang supply side, pinag-aaralan natin para alam natin talaga kung saan nanggagaling itong mga taong ito. Kung saan, kung ano ang kanilang basihan sa kanila pagrepresyo ng matataas at bakit gano'n na nangyayari.
Ani Remulla, gumugulong pa rin ang kanilang investigasyon sa mga umunoy smugglers ng agricultural products. Sa gitna naman ng mataas na presyo ng bigas, suwestyon ng Health Department, mas mura at mas masustansyang alternatibo tulad ng mais, kamote at gulay. Ang mahalaga, sabi ng DOH, panatilihing balanse ang diet para mapangalagaan ang kalusugan.
Hindi po dapat maging dahilan na ang pagtaas ng presyo